What would you do if you got chased off the internet? You grew your channel to over 100,000 subscribers, only to be hated and for nobody to watch you. Well, for CreepyProduce, that is exactly what happened. He was exposed for talking inappropriately to a 15-year-old girl online, which would destroy his channel. Yet, this wouldn't stop him from not only returning, but even growing a new channel twice the size of his original, under a new alias, that being Gratz. Gratz is a YouTuber who makes documentary-style videos on Clash Royale, and has grown his channel to almost 200,000 subscribers. However, this success is not due to luck. The videos are well scripted, edited, and have amazing thumbnails. But you need to understand, this is unheard of for a YouTuber with no prior experience. Except, Gratz did have experience from his previous channel, known as CreepyProduce, which he grew to over 100,000 subscribers. On this channel, CreepyProduce would make Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Content, which gave him experience making videos, and his iconic thumbnails, which would have the exact same design. But how do we know they're even the same person? Well, there are multiple. One being that they have the same identical voices. Just take a listen.
So in the past, I did a video where I was playing until I got a repeat online, and today I wanted to do that as part of this big challenge where I'm eliminating one track every video.
However, one card would break this natural flow. The Elixir Collector, also known as the Elixir Pump. Collector was not a card that would deal any damage or fight for you.
It is undeniable that they are the same. However, this is not true evidence, since there are many individuals online who sound alike, but they are not the same person. The strongest evidence we have to share is that they have the same Clash Royale username. One video CreepyProduce uploaded was about Clash Royale, where he had the name Get Wrecked Mate, which is the same as Gratz's username. Now that is damning evidence. Evidence you cannot deny or pass off as a coincidence. Because of this, shortly after the community found out, CreepyProduce took down the video to cover up for his second channel, which is fully understandable. After all, you wouldn't want a channel that admitted to sexting a minor to be connected to you in any way. Which is how we know CreepyProduce sexted a minor. You see, DMs from Discord would surface that while CreepyProduce was 19 years old, a 15-year-old fan tried to reach out to him, which he couldn't just turn down. The conversations would go into detail where they talked about getting married, engaged in sexual roleplay, and oh my goodness, he's talking about having with her corpse. Okay. Some people might try to grasp at straws, saying, well, it is a Romeo and Juliet situation. He just became an adult and she is turning 16. But it is hard to make that claim when CreepyProduce admitted to saying he would a corpse of a minor while they were roleplaying. You know things are bad when commenting on how tight a minor's body looks while walking down the aisle is not the worst thing said. That is a really hard thing to defend. But CreepyProduce was up for the challenge. He would make an apology video clarifying everything that happened to clear his name. And when I say apology, I mean...
he just blamed the 15-year-old for everything that happened.
This did not go well with his viewers. He would say,
You know, I'm not blaming her,
but then proceeded to say,
but like, she just kept pushing me.
while at the same time say,
I shouldn't have kept leading her on.
So not only did he sext a minor, contradict himself multiple times, manipulate the story, but also blame the minor in question for his actions. In the video, he claimed she was doing well and fine, only for her to go on Reddit and talk about how terrified and mentally destroyed she was. It wasn't an apology for me, but you guys. I feel sick and unsafe for me and my family due to this. His community would not take lightly to this. Who knew that blaming a child for your actions would be frowned upon on the internet? She looked up to him and admired him. She even loved him according to herself, only to be thrown under the bus when he was caught. Not only is this a shameful, cowardly move, but how do you think this would affect that girl for the rest of her life? The trauma of someone you admire and respect not only trying to take advantage of you, but blaming you for everything that happened. It wasn't an apology. After this statement made its rounds online, CreepyProduce would make a second apology as an attempt to fix things. But none of his fans would forgive him, causing his channel to die off and for him to abandon it. But not YouTube as a whole. After all, why would you? If you spent years developing the skills required to grow on YouTube, why wouldn't you transfer those skills to a different channel? After all, he never showed his face originally, and he wouldn't need to this time either. So that is exactly what he did. And from this, not only did he regain what he lost, but he grew more than he ever previously did. His videos got hundreds of thousands of views consistently, and even reaching millions at times. Later, people would draw the connection to his past and would call him out for his predatory behavior, but nothing would happen that was truly impactful against his channel. If you search Gratz into the search bar, it takes you quite some time for the exposed videos to show up. Not only that, but he's being very smart. He knows not to address these allegations or to apologize, and it is working. Just ignore the drama, hide any of the connections to your previous account, ban keywords in your comment section, and nothing will happen to you. This is the new era of YouTube, where you can get exposed for the most vile behavior known to man, yet just make a new account and pretend nothing happened. It is nuts. His channel is being impacted, yes, but so what? The best way to deal with drama and controversies, people have learned, is to simply not address them. However, it is only possible when your audience is unaware, or to be blunt, children, who do not pay attention to the internet controversies. This should be extremely concerning, as this gives predators an access to get an audience they can prey upon, and get away with taking advantage of them repeatedly. But why would Gratz do this? Is Gratz a PDF file that is attracted to minors? Despite his actions being vile, I do not think so. CreepyProduce admitted that this was the first time he got attention from the opposite sex, and he was 19 years old. To put this in perspective, he was extremely starved of attention and validation. This makes it believable that he did not actually want to engage with a minor initially. But over time, he couldn't help himself. Yet keep in mind, this is still the definition of predatory behavior. You see, many predators are opportunistic in nature and do not explicitly seek out their victims. One thing to point out is that the victim is in the United States while Gratz is in the Netherlands. The age of consent for both nations are different. It is 16 for him and 18 for her. She was also turning 16 very soon, so some might say that it isn't a very big problem. After all, in his country, it would be legal. Yet, do not be mistaken here. When you have a significant age gap at those critical years of development, the difference between these two in terms of experience are worlds apart. 4 years between a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old are not equivalent to a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old. Your late teens are critical for giving you experience and wisdom to make any informed, life-changing decisions. Combine that with the power imbalance of the relationship. She held CreepyProduce in extremely high esteem in her mind. She was his fan. She was also claimed to be lonely and isolated with nobody there for her, the internet being a place of refuge for her. Yet it would later be turned against her, as CreepyProduce attempted to pin the blame on her. Individuals who are isolated and alone are much easily controlled. Hence, predators either try to isolate or find already isolated individuals to prey upon. And there is nothing in the world more manipulatable than a teenage girl that is your biggest fan, who just so happens to be alone and isolated. This is also why she felt so mentally destroyed and betrayed to hear the blame cast on her in his apology video. We can sum up everything that happened nice and neatly. We had Gratz, who was starved of any type of attention from the opposite sex, but was given the hope through internet fame, and a fan who was irresistibly attracted to him but also a minor. He knew it was wrong, he said to himself, but sexted the minor anyway. As a consequence of being caught, he threw her under the bus instead of taking responsibility for his actions. It is honestly that simple, but hey, there is a lesson we can learn from this. If you are a young man that is trying to gain fame and notoriety to attract the opposite sex, just know that you will most likely be put in the same position if you are successful. On top of that, you will be placed in this situation repeatedly. Look at all the scandals rock stars get into with underage girls. The reason it happens so frequently for them is because they have direct access to these underage fans at their concerts. The fans easily meet their idols in person, while these YouTubers are online. But if this does happen to you, and it will if you become famous, you're obligated to say no. In order to ensure you have the willpower to say no, you need to learn to attract women your own age without using fame or status to attract them. This will ensure that you will not be emotionally starved for attention when a minor comes your way who gives it to you. Learn to just say no.